The COVID-19 pandemic and economic devastation we are experiencing now have thrown entire industries and institutions into turmoil. Agile higher education institutions responded to this quickly by moving to remote learning for the remainder of the 2019 academic year. But they now have to face a new challenge: 2020 enrollment. While we hear enough about how universities in the Western world transitioned online, in this case study we will explore how a private university in Pakistan transitioned online within 8 weeks, taking its 20,000 plus students and 1,000 courses. We will explore the journey of Iqra University and identify challenges, lessons learned, and best practices which can inform other similar institutions in their quest for the secret sauce of online education. We will explore which technologies are being used to design, develop, and deliver your online courses, issues of intellectual property, course and module implementation and staffing needs, and how the governance model transforms with the transition. And to round it up, we will discuss how Iqra University plans to retain students and gain additional market share.
Iqra's transition from face-to-face to online delivery mode was smooth because of IT infrastructure, LMS, and technical support team was already in place and functioning. Our teachers, students, and staff were already using it. We only added a conferencing tool for synchronous communication. Overall challenges we faced were of access, online learning management, training of our teachers and staff, non-availability of contextual learning material, technical, academic, financial, and psychological support. As for access, we already had the IT infrastructure, including the support team and learning management system. Students and teachers were connected from home and faced problems because of the load shedding, disruption in internet connection. We conducted a survey of students, faculty, and staff to make possible adjustment. We established an online learning management, constructed digital governance model, formed an online academic council, teams for supporting and monitoring online learning activities, IT team, content development team, and the training team. We train teachers for transforming face-to-face teaching mindset into an online learning mindset and developing needed skills like learner-centered approach, conducting synchronous classes using Zoom, using web forums, creating content for online delivery, online learning assessment techniques, and measuring, marking the assignments of these students which they have submitted online. We provided training to the staff to work remotely as a team, seamlessly collaborating with other teams for providing the online support. We needed quality content for the delivery of online teaching and assessment. For that, we created thousands of videos, lectures across studios and partnered with non-profit and for-profit organizations for the development of digital content. To support students and staff, we established a rapid response team, set up online counseling services, and above all, our students were facing a number of financial issues. We reduced our tuition fee up to an extent of 25%. Taking all those measures, our results were remarkable. Our quality of education was drastically improved, the dropout rates had gone down, and simultaneously our enrollment has increased. Our advice to other universities is to, in fact, create a hope or create a story of hope. This is the most important advice which we can give to other educational institutions. Embrace online learning model, face-to-face and blended learning model. Online preparedness enhances quality and increases reach to enroll more students. Incorporate educational technologies for the management, learning, and creating virtual spaces for infotainment, entertainment, and other social activities. Advocate and partner with other institutions for providing access to internet and digital content.
So here's a quick recap of what Dr. Qazi has just said. He talked about accelerated pedagogical innovations, how to utilize community engagement, augmented reality and virtual reality, and how ICRA will contribute to the global education community. Now let's see what the Dean of ICRA University, Dr. Shams Hamid, has to say.
Well, COVID-19 threatened public health, economy, and restricted social interactions. Around 2 billion students could not go to school anymore. The only option was online learning. At ICRA University, we already had the IT infrastructure, LMS, technical support team, but it was an extraordinary challenge when tens of thousands of students completely relied on online delivery of learning through synchronous and asynchronous modes. We needed a holistic solution to overcome this disruption and continue learning activities, increase access to learning through technological and financial support, and improve learning quality. We developed both a short-term and a medium to long-term plan. The short-term plan was focused on emergency response to keep students learning, and the medium to long-term approach for university reopening, building resilience, and transformation using educational technology. We met regularly with key operational staff to monitor and address regular and crisis-related operational challenges at all levels of the organization, academic, administrative, facilities, and so on. We used the most widely used and existing technology and resources available locally. We went with mobile-first approach because most of our teachers and students were interacting using mobiles. We set up a one-stop space as an entry to various resources using LMS as central platform, integrating other technologies in the LMS, for example, video conferencing. We focused on curating existing open content after aligning it to our curriculum and producing new content. We provided regular guidance and support to students and teachers. The advice I can give is to have an empathy-based communication for boosting collaboration and team spirit, and setting up virtual help desk and provide proactive tips and regular communication to support students, teachers, and staff, and to have a public-private partnership for increasing access, digital content like simulation and educational games, augmented reality, research collaboration, and for students' financial support.
So that was Dr. Shams Hamid. What we've learned from him is that empathy is essential for faculty and students. Build collaborative culture, and to work with service providers and the government to reduce students' financial burden. Now let's move on to Dr. Fatima Dar, one of the directors at ICRA University.
My name is Dr. Fatma Dar, and I work as Director, Center for Teaching Excellence and Learning Innovation at ICRA University. The world was transformed immensely because of the pandemic, and because of that, ICRA University also transitioned from face-to-face to online teaching and learning. Now, what did this involve? This involved an immense amount of work at various tiers of management, at various tiers of the faculty, and what we did was that we prioritized our initiatives. One of our top priority was to train the faculty so that they could teach in the online mode at a smooth level. So what we did was, the first step that we took was to develop an online manual on teacher education, which actually exemplified various elements that were required in online education. At the outset, we basically told the faculty of the benefits of online education. Because the part of the world where we live in, online education is still not considered as a very authentic way of teaching and learning. Face-to-face learning is something which is regarded as a matter of priority and as a matter of getting authentic degrees. So we need to, what we did initially was to win over the faculty in terms of telling them about the importance of online education, its benefits, and how did it differ from face-to-face teaching and learning. So the manual dealt with various parts. The first part of the manual was to inform the faculty about the various elements that were involved in online education, starting from what it is, its benefits, how to, for example, manage an online virtual classroom, and at the same time stating the difference between face-to-face and online education. The second part of the manual dealt with a huge domain, and that was content management and content development, because content development is very different in an online mode than the face-to-face mode. So what we did was that in the second part of the manual, we trained the faculty, we let them know as to how to develop the content, how to manage the content, and at the same time, how to focus on content delivery. The third part of the manual again dealt with a very important element, and that was handling the learning management system, which we call the virtual learning environment here. So we apprised the faculty about the different elements that were involved in handling the virtual learning management system. So the faculty was given training in this regard. Luckily, they were already managing the learning management system, which was well in place at ICRA University. So this did not consume a lot of time. The fourth part of the manual dealt with assessments, online assessments. And we put before them various ways in which the faculty could assess students in the online mode. So we basically divided our assessments into two modes, the formative and the summative, and we told the faculty according to the Bloom's taxonomy of how to manage, how to construct assessments and how to bring in more variety in online assessments so that the students stayed connected. So online assessments was one big portion in which we trained the faculty, and the fourth part of the manual on online education dealt with that part. The fifth part of the manual dealt again with an important portion, which was quality assurance. We told the faculty members of how to ensure quality while they were constructing assessments, whether they were developing the content or collaborating with each other. So the fifth part dealt with various elements, including quality assurance, the readiness, the online readiness of the faculty, online readiness of the students, online readiness of university itself, our library, our laboratories. So this was all that the manual talked about in the fifth portion, which was quality assurance. So when we made this manual, the focus was again not only professional development of ICRA University's faculty, but at the same time dealing with the huge task of transitioning into online education, at a professional level and at a level where faculty could gain confidence and could teach with a lot of difference, because you see, transitioning into the online education was not easy. So because we need to we are answerable to the statutory bodies, to the governing bodies, which always ask us about the element of quality assurance and about online readiness. So this was one major part that we dealt with as we transitioned into online education. And the second part, which was also important in terms of priority, was giving assurance to the IU fraternity in terms of adjusting themselves to this new normal. Because you see, the psychosocial element came forth in this situation, because people were stressed out, including the faculty and students. So the counseling and the guidance and the reassurances and giving a lot of importance to the motivational levels of faculty and students as they were physically apart, unlike the face-to-face normal situation. So adjusting to this new normal required a lot of reassurance from the management of IU, in which they rose to the occasion, and they constantly kept reassuring the faculty, reassuring the students by getting in touch with them, sending them messages, meeting them, through the virtual modes. So this reassurance helped faculty and students a lot in terms of coming back to the teaching and learning situations. So these two parts were extremely important. And the third part, which I would mention, is the cohesive workforce at ICRA University. So that was something which really helped all of us to deal with this unusual situation. And things became very smooth because the management was on one page. So the different people who were working at different tiers of the management were all on board. They were all on one page in terms of deciding issues, in terms of deciphering ideas, and in terms of reaching conclusions, so that beneficial things could be imparted to the faculty as well as the students.
So Dr. Fatima Dar spoke about training faculty for online assessments, assisting in training faculty in content development, train faculty on the effective use of LMS, and quality assurance. Now let's move on to Dr. Kamran Raza and see what he has to say.
ICRA University is already using its own custom developed specialized ERP system for educational domain. SoftSol is our ERP system which is developed in Oracle 11g platform. Moreover, ICRA University has its own CRM system which is integrated with other applications like LMS, admission system and ERP. We are using data analytics to support data-driven decision making. We have a dedicated data science team and its objective is to facilitate our management to take data-driven decision making. Overall, ICRA University is continuously investing in these systems to further improve the overall experience of end user. Various AI-based algorithms are already integrated within the application to increase the utilization of the large data set produced by our academic system. It is really helpful in getting better insight and improve the predictive capability of the organization.
So that was Dr. Kamran Raza. He's spoken about how in today's world, LMS has become table stake. ICRA University has its own ERP and CRM, and that analytics should be used for data-driven decision-making. Now we'll be moving on to Mr. Ataur Rahman.
My advice for the other institution going for the same path is do not go for a set path that you have to record this lecture in this way or that way, and we use that camera or we use that method. So we learn from the mistake. So we made a lot of mistakes in the beginning and we learned from it, and then we started qualifying, empathizing with the teachers. So every teacher has a different style, so we were patient with them. We waited for them to give their best and we saw their style, how technology could help them. So like I said, some teachers were like extempore, they wanted to go full throttle in one lecture. Some teacher wanted to take their time and go bit by bit. So there were many methods used depending on the nature of the subject and the style of the teacher. So I would say technology helped us a lot. So we went to non-linear and linear editing method where, we said, oh, this teacher might, ponder a lot. So, and then ponder in a way that he is just, contemplating what to say. So we went for a non-linear approach where we recorded the lecture into many lapses, many episodes. Where other teachers who were more extempore, we went for the online lecture. So my advice would be to qualify the style of teachers. Some are demonstrative in nature, some are theoretical. Some subjects, especially in media, are, for example, live drawing, calligraphy, and camera, lighting, and cinematography. They are more demonstrative subjects. So even though I talk about the exposure and the f-stop and shutter stop, they would not understand unless I will demonstrate a certain discipline or certain exercise to them. So my advice is to rightly qualify the teacher's capacity and their style and the right technology.
So Mr. Atar Rahman has talked about being mindful with bandwidth limitations. Be patient with the faculty as teaching on camera is difficult. Create a safe environment for the faculty. Teachers should be allowed to view and validate lectures and to allow faculty to re-record and edit as needed. Now let's move on to Dr. Zaki Rashidi.
The governance system is very important in the model, and we try to keep all these things in mind when we were thinking about the online education. How are we going to have a complete governance system? For example, a faculty member is going to start a class, and how do we know whether the classes are starting in time? And similarly, students are also participating in various classes. So how do we know whether actually these students are attending those classes? So we developed a complete dashboard system. In this dashboard system, assume for a minute a class is supposed to start at 8:30 and we have 50 classes to start. So we exactly know how many teachers are logging in, how many students are logging in, at what time a particular class starts, at what time a particular class is ending. So through that dashboard, we have a complete control mechanism. And along with this control mechanism, we know that what teacher is delivering in the classroom. And that is very, very important because we have assigned a complete component to a teacher, and that component delivery is ensured not only by the teacher but also by a reviewer. So in this governance model, we try to think about three things. One, whether the teacher is actually engaged in the class and as per regular their time and schedule they are taking those classes. Two, the students are really connected with that and how many students are connected, and if a student is connected, really they are engaged or not. Because sometimes it happens, okay, once you say an online class starts, students connected, so how do we know whether they are actually engaged with the class or not? So what we ask to the teachers, rather than going for a radio class, just like delivering a lecture for 90 minutes without any interruption, we say deliver a lecture of 4 or 5 minutes and then ask questions to the students. So you know exactly who is connected, who is not connected, who is listening, who is not listening. So this is just like exactly a face-to-face class where teachers always see a reaction. So reactions are also taken by the students. Another important thing, while teacher is being asked to deliver and we know that the teacher is going to deliver, so we have a complete review process. In this review process, we know what component is delivered in the classroom, what actually was supposed to be delivered, what were the learning outcomes and objectives of that particular lecture, whether the teacher has achieved or not. So that review process actually gave us the complete quality control. With the help of this review process, there was a complete review team, and these review teams we developed on the basis of different sets of subjects. For example, for accounting and finance, it's a different review team. For management and HR, it's for the different review team. And for marketing and advertisement, there are other review teams. So the review teams were different. The purpose of these review teams were that they are supposed to keep a complete monitor and see the quality, what is being delivered. In online education, sometimes it happens the teachers are dragging something, or sometimes it happens they are wrapping something very quickly and asking students to go by themselves. So we are keeping in mind what is delivered, what was supposed to be delivered, and what actually is delivered. And if there is any gap, so how can we fill up this gap by providing certain resources? The last component in the quality assurance is that how are we going to ensure the overall quality of the entire delivery. So in that case, we developed a complete checklist. On the basis of that checklist, in every course, a teacher is supposed to fill up a checklist. A head of the department is supposed to fill up that checklist. A quality assurance person is supposed to fill up that checklist. So on the basis of that checklist, we know exactly what have we covered, what we have not covered. Are we covering as per the desired or requirements, or are we not covering that? So it means at the end of the week or at the end of the month, we exactly know where we are and what is supposed to be beef up to the students so that we can overcome to the weakness or the gap.
So Dr. Zaki Rashidi spoke about how the governance model is complex for online delivery, building a dashboard with key performance indicators, monitoring faculty and students and continuing to adjust, and how restructuring the governance model is an iterative process. Lastly, we'll move on to Dr. Ghazi's conclusion.
We had been preparing for digital transformation for past several years. When the COVID-19 disrupted all aspects of life and economy, most institutions scrambled to provide academic continuity through emergency remote teaching. Luckily, we were able to act decisively and rapidly because our transformation was already in place and in progress. And yes, pandemic accelerated the process. Many of our peers had to buy and borrow content as a stopgap measure, but we didn't have to fall back on off-the-shelf online courseware. When I joined as a Vice Chancellor, one of the key initiatives I pushed and dedicated for were the establishment of 3 main institutions: ORIC, Office of Research, Innovation and Commercialization, the Center for Teaching Excellence and Learning Innovation, and Institute of Futures Studies. We had the technical infrastructure and proven teachers training discipline. It didn't take us long to develop a large catalog of digital content, and our faculty is now well versed in teaching online. So far, ICRA, our challenge was scale. We have also accelerated pedagogical innovation to serve diverse online communities with varying socio-economic backgrounds and increase commitment to creating an inclusive environment for learning by championing breakout groups discussions, live discussion boards, and student presentations. Outside of the virtual classroom, we utilize community engagements, study groups, virtual meetups, and live stream events. We are in the early stages of exploring augmented learning, augmented reality, and virtual reality in fields like engineering, media sciences, and pharmacy. Our goal is to ensure that ICRA is well positioned to become leading contributor to the global higher education system.
So what Dr. Ghazi has talked about in his conclusion is that how COVID-19 accelerated digital transformation, leveraged technical infrastructure, ICRA's teachers training discipline, proprietary catalog of digital content, and how for ICRA University the main challenge was scale.